Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking the rapidly shifting and honestly pretty aggressive new phase of the US-China rivalry. We're literally standing right on the edge of a massive moment ahead of the highly anticipated Trump-Xi summit. And as we're going to see, the ground rules of global superpower competition, they're being completely rewritten. The battlefield has officially moved from physical goods straight to the digital frontier. Let's dive deep into the strategies, the tech at stake, and what this all means for the rest of us.
For years, whenever we talked about the US and China, it was basically all about traditional trade, right? We spent endless hours debating tariffs, manufacturing output, who's making the cheapest steel, the whole shebang. But Washington is aggressively signaling that the old playbook is out the window. The new rivalry, it's all about chips, cyberpower, and artificial intelligence. This is a high-stakes, incredibly complex battle for absolute control over the technologies that will literally shape our future. Whoever wins this race essentially dictates the economic and military rules for the next century.
So let's get right into Section 1, the new geopolitical game moving beyond trade.
To really get what's happening, we got to look at the accusations setting the stage right now. The White House is definitely not mincing words. Washington is openly accusing China of the theft of American AI and intellectual property. But pay attention to the exact phrasing here: industrial-scale theft. They're making it clear this isn't just some lone hacker in a basement swiping a blueprint. No, they view this as a massive, systematic operation designed to vacuum up the absolute core of America's tech sector. It's a really heavy accusation, and it totally sets the tone for where relations stand today. It's less of a partnership and way more of a defensive standoff.
That brings us to Section 2, the AI and chip battlefield and the technologies shaping the future. The White House claims that foreign entities, mostly based in China, are using covert backdoor methods known as proxy accounts. The goal here isn't just scraping basic data off the web. The goal is to quietly and systematically extract advanced capabilities directly from US AI models. Imagine an American tech giant dropping billions of dollars in years of research to build a cutting-edge AI, only to have foreign actors essentially siphon off its brainpower through disguised digital channels. It's subtle, but it's incredibly damaging. That's exactly what Washington says is happening, turning regular cloud computing platforms into actual geopolitical battlegrounds. But here's the thing, you can't run next-generation AI without next-generation hardware. The physical battlefield is just as intense as the digital one. Because of this digital extraction, US officials are actually weighing even tighter controls on shipments of advanced chips. You simply cannot run these massive AI models with highly specialized semiconductors. They are the engine of this new era. So by restricting the flow of these physical parts, the US is deliberately trying to bottleneck AI development abroad. It's basically a strategy to starve the competitors' software by choking off their hardware supply.
Which leads to a really crucial realization. Semiconductors are one of the absolute biggest pressure points in this rivalry. It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. These tiny little pieces of silicon, literally the size of your fingernail, have become massive geopolitical levers. They're basically the oil of the 21st century. Whoever controls the design and manufacturing of the best chips holds the keys to future economic and military supremacy. If you disrupt that supply chain, you aren't just delaying the newest smartphone, you're halting military modernization and stopping AI breakthroughs right in their tracks.
Okay, moving on to Section 3, beyond tariffs and into global security, linking trade to global influence.
We really have to factor in the current economic reality here. Right now, China is facing some major internal economic pressure, dealing with a lot of domestic headwinds. And, in the high-stakes world of geopolitics, one nation's internal pressure is instantly seen as another nation's leverage. Washington definitely sees an opening. They believe that China's pressing need for economic stability gives the US way more room to aggressively push for better overall trade terms. The calculation is pretty straightforward. Beijing might just be willing to make concessions on tech or security if they can get some much-needed economic relief in return.
But the US isn't just asking for simple, run-of-the-mill economic concessions. No, Washington is actively linking its economic and tech leverage directly to China's broader global behavior. They're tying trade talks to interconnected security concerns. We're talking specifically about China's ambitions to expand its influence worldwide, and, this is a big one, its deepening ties with Iran. The core message from American negotiators is that it's all chained together. You just can't separate the trade of microchips from the balance of global power anymore. Economic dialogue and global security are now completely tangled up.
All of these pressure points bring us to Section 4, the carrots and sticks strategy, setting the terms for cooperation.
U.S. strategists are basically using a highly calculated, conditional approach. The U.S. is signaling that cooperation, the carrot if you will, is totally on the table, but it comes with some incredibly strict prerequisites. Step 1, China has to explicitly back off from espionage. Step 2, they need to actively protect intellectual property. And Step 3, they must accept US-imposed limits around sensitive tech. It's only when those 3 rigid sticks are accepted that the US is willing to offer Step 4, which is actual meaningful cooperation. It's an unyielding framework that puts the burden of action completely on the other side of the table before any rewards are handed out.
Distilling it all down, America's core goal is to use its current technological edge, that massive lead in AI and chip design, combined with its immense economic power, to force a permanently more favorable geopolitical balance. It's a long-term play. They're using absolute strength today to guarantee dominance and security tomorrow. The U.S. is betting that holding the monopoly on the most advanced tech infrastructure will allow them to write the rules of the international order for decades to come.
So, what does this aggressive new framework mean for global stability? Let's look at Section 5, the next chapter of competition, defining the future.
The core message from Washington captures this super delicate tightrope they're walking. It's crystal clear. The U.S. wants peace. Nobody is looking for a physical, kinetic conflict. But, and this is a massive but, they absolutely will not accept peace if it means surrendering their strategic advantage or becoming dependent on a rival power. They want stability, for sure, but strictly on terms where they maintain total independence and maximum leverage. It's a whole new doctrine that prioritizes technological sovereignty just as much as old-school borders.
Because of that, we can expect this next chapter in international relations to be defined by a relentless repeating triad: pressure, negotiation, and nonstop competition. Gone are the days of hoping for some simple, sweeping resolution or hitting a reset button back to the trade dynamics of the 90s. The new normal is a constant, grinding cycle. It's an endless loop of applying economic leverage, talking aggressively at the negotiating table, and racing furiously to build the next generation of disruptive tech before the other guy does.
Which really leaves us with one critical question as these two global powers prepare to meet. If the relationship is fundamentally built on an aggressive zero-sum race for AI and semiconductors, can true long-term stability even exist in an era defined by non-stop technological competition? It's a huge paradox, and it's the exact tension that's going to shape our global economy, military alliances, and tech progress for decades to come. Keep that question in the back of your mind as you watch this summit unfold. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll see you next time.